Hi everyone, this is a collective tarot reading for the full moon in Pisces, which will be taking place on August 30th, and it is aimed at light workers. So if you consider yourself a light worker, if you want to see more peace, love, health, and wealth in the world, you are who this tarot reading is for. So I'm going to do a 7-card horseshoe spread. I got my Light Seers Tarot here, and as always, we have 3 oracle cards to the side. You can choose which 1, 2, or all 3 resonate with you the most. And after I am done with the tarot reading, then we will look at the oracle cards together. So let us cut the deck and see what we got. So in the past, we have the 5 of Wands. Well, if you want to have the 5 of Wands anywhere, best have it in the past. Now watch me flip over the tower. In the present, we have the 2 of Wands reversed. Very interesting, actually. Known factors is the 7 of Cups. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. In ways that I'll elaborate on in a little second. We collectively are represented by the 3 of Cups. Oh, that's nice. That's cute. This is great. This is very optimistic. Unknown factors, we have the 5 of Cups reversed. Or is it? What was I just saying? Advice, we have the devil. Very interesting. And potential outcome, we have the moon reversed. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the 5 of Swords. That pesky devil, tricky 5 of Swords energy is here again. How well framed is this for you? This is good. Listen, before I stare at these cards, I gotta say, as far as the full moon itself is concerned, I can't make heads or tails of it. Like, I'm not expecting much, which is my official read, but it's like Saturn, which is right behind the moon, is like nothing to see here, but Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus are all looking at each other going, or is there? Anyway, I'm going to look at these cards and see what we have. Give me a second. I am so glad that I stared at these cards as long as I did, because in the last few moments before unpausing, there's a final piece that just clicked into place. But before we get into the message, I just want to clarify who this message is for. So I said at the top that this is for light workers, and that is still true. That is absolutely the intention. But there's a subcategory. People dealing with trust issues, having problems determining friend from foe, or paranoia, or that kind of thing. Maybe having made amends with people that you might think was a bad idea, or vice versa, that kind of thing. So if you're not dealing with any of that shit, you might know a light worker who does, and who needs to hear this. And by the way, if you got a link from this video from a friend, I totally don't mean you. I'm sure that's a coincidence. But the people who would benefit the most from this, that is really who this message is targeted for. Because the really striking contrast here is this 3 of Cups, 5 of Swords, right next to each other. And of course they would be flanked by the 5 and 7 of Cups, which makes even more sense when we go into this message as a whole. But basically, now that I've clarified who this message is targeted at specifically, it'd be about time to talk about what it is. And it is an invitation to do an emotional audit, to make sure that you might not be acknowledging sadness that you have. Basically, this 5 of Cups here, this 5 of Cups reversed, is what you're being invited to stare at, to get comfortable with, to acknowledge that you might even have. That might be the reason why the 5 of Cups is reversed in this position too, because this is unknown factors. So trouble in paradise, you know, with this community, the loving, awesome, we have each other's backs community shit. When you have unprocessed disappointment or sadness, of course it could lead to confusion, because with all the shit that we are dealing with and all the shit that it's looking like we might have to deal with in the next 1 to 5 years or whatever, of course, thinking that the conflict that we thought was behind, we might actually be carrying some of it with us unbeknownst to us. And I just realized that there are 3 5s in this reading. I mean, these 2 5s are obvious. They're right in the middle. I've been staring at these a bunch, but I just realized that the 5 of Wands is a third 5 here. So yeah, and the Devil here, the Devil as an advice card can be taken in one of 2 ways. Because I can see 2 main reasons why someone would even end up in this situation at this point in the game, you know? Because one would think that for the most part, who we can trust, who's on board, versus who we can't trust and who's not on board, the broad lines have already been drawn, you know? I think it should be pretty clear for most of us watching this, you know? It certainly is for me. However, sometimes the people in the gray area, let's say people that we've known for a while, sometimes they can fall into this gray zone where we look at their behavior in, say, 2021 and 2022 and remember things that kind of taint how we think of them right now. If you have told yourself some bullshit story about how you've moved on, but you really haven't, confronting that is not tempting. And the Devil is basically inviting you to look at that, because it might be that, you know, the thing I say all the time when the Devil comes up about how the chains are loose fitting and they can take the chains off and walk away at any time. In this version of the Devil is represented by the little marionette figure in the bottom corner that's on his finger or whatever. It can be tough to come to terms with the fact that when what we thought was taking off the chain from around our neck and walking away from the block that we were chained to was in fact an illusion with certain people, you know, and that can bring the confusion and the trouble in paradise that that some of you might face. You know, honestly, I don't particularly feel targeted by this nuance here, but I know light workers who need to hear this. But fortunately, I'm making this video, so yeah, actually not a joke. If you're watching this, it's probably a coincidence. But yeah, and the payoff for either looking in the mirror, doing the shadow work, or actually acknowledging the sadness. Sometimes that's all you need, is to acknowledge the sadness, and that makes huge steps in, you know, the process to move forward. But yeah, by doing the shadow work and really taking a look and doing that emotional audit is what can help you tap into the cool thing that you're sitting on, which is the aha moment that I had right before unpausing, which is what this Two of Wands reversed has to say. Something I say a lot when the Two of Wands comes up, because in the traditional card, and there's a nod to it in this card, in the globe that's here, in the traditional card, the character in the Two of Wands is holding the world in his hands, and he's looking out, wondering if he should go out and whatever. Anyway, and something I say a lot when the Two of Wands comes up in reversed is to make sure that you're coming from a place of abundance when you're contemplating making the choices that you have to make. And when you're coming from a place of lack, from a place of need, even if you technically do all the good physical things, it kind of contaminates it, it taints it. So yeah, doing the shadow work and really looking and making sure that you're not, you know, the bygones that you let be bygones, did you really let them be bygones, or are you still causing yourself headaches? You know, the bottom of the deck is what binds the whole reading together. If some of you might not be aware, the metaphor I use a lot is these cards are the bricks, the bottom of the deck is the mortar. So yeah. Now, something that I knew I was going to do before I unpause was pull a clarifier on this moon here. The two cards that were confusing me the most were the Two of Wands reversed right up until the end, and the moon reversed, which the clarification on the Two of Wands definitely plays into the moon, but I had already decided that I wanted a clarifier, and we have the Five of Coins reversed. Very interesting. Actually, this one is so nuanced. I'm actually going to pause again just to make sure that what this adds to the moon is what these people need to hear, you know? Okay, so the message of the moon reversed is that the things that I was talking about like really taking the time to do the shadow work nodded at by the Devil and the Five of Cups here is what can unlock the Two of Wands, or at least the sentiment of abundance that you need to make the right choices, and that is what will unlock the you know, split the Red Sea so that you can cross it kind of thing. Because the moon is a card of, I call it the fly-by-night card. You're kind of navigating in the woods and all the glowy eyes staring back at you. If I've ever read the moon card on this channel for you, you've heard me use this metaphor before. I use it like all the time. But the message of the moon reversed in the potential outcome is that this devil is holding the key to unlock what is on the other side of this moon card. Because, you know, we have these two primal animals here howling at the full moon. And well, actually, I'm going to scrap the metaphor that I was going to describe and use the metaphor that's actually on this card. It's to get back to the surface, basically, to find your way back to the surface. There is light that is guiding you to it. As subtle as it is there. Now, the clarifier that the Five of Coins reverse adds to this, this might be my deck trolling me, because the thing about the Five of Coins is there are there are two main positions that are expressed in the Five of Coins. They're the people inside and they're the people outside. And, you know, given the themes that I've been discussing on this, this entire reading up to this point, there's no one size fits all to translate what this message means for people. So it might be an invitation to cut ties with people and leave them out in the cold. It might be an invitation to get over yourself and go back to people that you might have burned bridges with, and, you know, take it on the chin, so to speak. Or it might be, wait, what was the third interpretation? So you're either invited to cut ties or you're either invited to, or I can't remember the third one, honestly. I don't want to bullshit you. So I would say that the people that you can trust are out there. And the more you worry about making the right or wrong decision as to who you can trust, the more you might accidentally end up doing like self-fulfilling prophecies of doom, basically. So as long as you trust that even if you do end up left out in the cold, that you can work it out, and that you are sitting on something good, then you can get to, you know, the sun, which is the card following the moon. Yeah, I don't think I can add much more without looping, so I'm going to end the tarot portion of the reading there. If you liked this reading, please give this video a like. It really does help out the channel a lot. But let's go to the oracle cards. I'm very curious about the oracle cards, especially this one. But let's start with the wisdom of the oracle. Your card is Unfinished Symphony. You can't make this shit up. Yeah, if this is not an exclamation point to this entire reading, basically, whatever story that my whole spiel has been reminding you of, try to see what steps you can take to finish the story. Okay, whether it involves self-reflection or a conversation, that's up to you. But yeah, you really need to wrap up and finish that symphony. All right. The Prism Oracle. Your card is Space. Okay. This might. Oh boy. Yeah. Of course. Oh gee. It has trouble focusing on a black uniform card. Anyway. Focus next to the card next to it. It's a black card. You know what it is. This might be an invitation to give yourself the space, to create the space. It could be an invitation to meditate, which is, just focusing on the breath and all that stuff. I'm not getting the vibe that this is an invitation to cut ties. I have the feel there are better cards in that deck to represent that kind of shit. Yeah, this is more an invitation, and it wouldn't be black. Black wouldn't be the color of cutting ties with people. Anyway, this is really an invitation to go within, to really do that audit. This is another one of those cards which fits so well with everything that I've been saying that it's difficult to elaborate. And now, the last but not least, we have Emergence. Ooh, very interesting. Just show it to you there. Let's read this. The frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. Oh, okay. This is the beginner mind stuff. It's funny too, because I almost wanted to comment at the top of this video about how this is the Mercury retrograde lunar phase, in the sense that Mercury, it's stationed retrograde a week before the full moon, and it's going to station direct a day after the new moon that's right after, So during this waning cycle after the full moon, Mercury retrograde is kind of wrapping up this shit. And one of the messages in my Mercury retrograde reading was the fact to go with the beginner mind, to be as coachable as possible, to really, here's the thing. No matter whether or not you felt targeted by the tarot portion, to really wonder, do I have unprocessed sadness? Do I have unprocessed emotion? I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what would happen if I looked in the mirror. And instead of approaching it from a place of fear, to go from a place of curiosity, I wonder what will happen if I try this. And yeah, maybe there is a world of hurt on the other side. But if you're just standing in front of that closed door worrying about the world of hurt that might be on the other side, you'll never, actually open the door. And A, you might find out that it's not a world of hurt. And B, if it is a world of hurt, you needed that world of hurt to get to the other side. And if you're standing in front of the door, you're just prolonging it and postponing the inevitable. So yeah, honestly, I'm hearing myself speak. This is a mic drop moment. So I'm going to end the reading right there. It's looking like an interesting waning moon cycle. I hope y'all have an amazing couple weeks. I will see you in a couple weeks for the next video. Thank you so much. You take care. I'll see you soon.